The twin suns of Zirath glimmered across the crystalline towers of the royal palace, casting golden and violet reflections over the city below. From her balcony, Princess Lyra looked down at the bustling streets with her usual pride. The people of her planet had long admired her intelligence, her courage, and her unmatched ability to lead. At 23 standard years, she had already outmaneuvered countless challengers who tried to test her authority. But today she sensed something unusual, an arrival that made the air itself seem different. A small vessel had landed in the courtyard. Its markings were strange, unfamiliar to even the most seasoned observers. Lyra squinted, leaning closer to see the pilot emerging from the ship. She expected an alien diplomat, maybe a traitor from a distant system. Instead, a human stepped out. Humans were rare in this sector, and most alien civilizations considered them unpredictable, sometimes reckless. Lyra had read about them, about their strange mix of fragility and resilience, but she had never met one in person. The human moved confidently, his steps measured yet fearless. He looked ordinary, brown hair, sharp eyes, and an expression that suggested curiosity rather than fear. His uniform, though plain, hinted at some form of authority, perhaps military or scientific. "Your Highness," one of the royal aides whispered nervously. "It is a human, and he comes unannounced." Lyra raised an eyebrow, a mixture of curiosity and challenge in her gaze. "Unannounced visitors can be dangerous. Alert the palace guards, but do not approach him yet. I wish to observe." The human approached the palace gates, seemingly unaware of the dozens of guards watching his every move. He carried a small device, scanning the surrounding area with quick, precise movements. Lyra could feel the tension in the air. The palace had faced hostile visitors before, but none had shown the calm confidence of this human. Inside the throne room, Lyra sat with her advisors. "Prepare the standard greeting," she ordered. "But I want to see how he behaves. Humans are unusual creatures. They often respond to respect differently than other species." Minutes later, the human was escorted inside. He moved politely, but with a directness that surprised the palace staff. Most alien visitors would bow, kneel, or offer some form of submission. He did none of these. Instead, he made eye contact with Lyra and nodded slightly. "Princess Lyra," he said in clear galactic standard. "I am Alex. I come in peace. I have knowledge to share that may help your people." Lyra studied him, curious and slightly amused. "Knowledge?" she asked. "And why should I trust a human I have never met?" Alex's calm gaze did not waver. "Because I have no reason to deceive you. But I also understand if you wish to test me. That is why I brought something, an example of my work." Without waiting for permission, he activated the device he carried. A small holographic projection appeared above it, showing energy grids, diagrams, and a controlled simulation of a containment experiment. Lyra recognized the potential danger immediately. In the wrong hands, this energy could destroy entire districts. A gasped wave ran through the room. "He must be stopped," one advisor exclaimed. "This is dangerous technology." "We cannot allow," but Alex's fingers danced over the device controls. With calm precision, he stabilized the energy grid, preventing any dangerous fluctuations. In moments, the simulation ran perfectly, showing a successful and safe outcome. Lyra's eyes widened. She had expected arrogance, maybe fear, maybe mistakes, but not this. Not someone who could control alien technology with such skill and composure. "Interesting," she murmured. "You are not like other humans I have read about." Alex smiled faintly. "Thank you, Princess. I aim to be helpful, not a threat." The advisors whispered among themselves, astonished that a human could handle a situation that might have overwhelmed even seasoned alien engineers. Lyra leaned back in her throne. She felt a strange mix of intrigue and amusement. Most visitors would have crumbled under the eyes of her court. This human did not. "I think a test is in order," Lyra said finally. "If you wish to remain in my presence, you will prove your skill in a task designed by my advisors. Only then will we determine your place here." Alex nodded. "I accept any test you choose, Princess." The test was designed to be simple in appearance but complex in execution. A containment unit in the palace laboratory had been modified to simulate a volatile alien energy. It was unstable, designed to react unpredictably. No alien novice could complete the task without causing an alarm. Alex studied the unit for several minutes, observing the subtle energy readings and patterns that others had overlooked. He adjusted his approach, carefully combining human intuition with technical knowledge. The moment he applied the correct adjustments, the energy stabilized, glowing softly without threat. The room exhaled a collective sigh of relief. Princess Lyra stood silently, her expression unreadable. She had expected hesitation, fear, maybe even failure, but not perfection. "Remarkable," she said finally. "It seems humans may be more capable than I imagined." "I underestimated you, Alex." Alex shrugged lightly. "I only follow logic and observation. That works for all species, not just humans." Lyra felt a flicker of surprise. An alien ruler rarely heard such words with such humility. And yet they carried authority. For the first time she realized that power was not only about rank, ancestry, or fear. Sometimes it came from courage, intelligence, and a willingness to act. Curiosity replaced Lyra's usual pride. She wanted to know more about this human who seemed to navigate her world without bowing or breaking. She wanted to see how far his skills and courage could go. Later that evening, in the quiet of her private chambers, Lyra studied the human from her observation window. Alex moved through the palace with ease, politely interacting with the staff, yet never compromising his calm confidence. There was something about him that unsettled her, not because he was dangerous, but because he did not act as she expected. A knock on the chamber door startled her. "Enter," she called, straightening her posture. Alex stepped inside carrying a small box of analytical tools. "Princess Lyra," he said politely, "I came to offer assistance with any experiments you may wish to review. I thought my knowledge could be useful." Lyra studied him closely. He was careful not to overstep, yet he projected an air of confidence that most alien nobles would never dare. "You are bold," she said. "Most would never enter my private chambers uninvited." "I meant no offense," Alex replied. "I only wish to help. If my presence is unwelcome, I will leave immediately." Lyra shook her head, a smile forming. "No, I am curious. Stay. Let us see what you are truly capable of. Humans are often underestimated, yet you have proven yourself today." They spent hours discussing the properties of alien energy, experimental methods, and strategies to improve safety and efficiency. Alex listened carefully, asked thoughtful questions, and offered solutions that even Lyra had not considered. His insight, combined with a calm demeanor, left a strong impression on her. As the night deepened, Lyra realized that she had never encountered someone like Alex before. He was not a subordinate nor a visitor simply obeying orders. He was a human, strange, intelligent, fearless, and surprisingly insightful. Finally, Alex stood. "Princess, I will take my leave. I hope I have proven my value. I would be honored to continue assisting your people in any way I can." Lyra's lips curved into a small, amused smile. "You have done more than that, Alex. You have challenged my expectations. You have earned my attention, which is more than most visitors ever do." He bowed slightly, acknowledging her words with respect, and left her chambers. Lyra watched him go, her mind buzzing with questions. She had always been proud, always confident in her ability to control her world. Yet Alex had managed to disrupt her sense of certainty, not with power, but with intelligence, courage, and calm confidence. As she returned to her balcony to gaze at the twin suns, Lyra made a decision. This human would not be treated like others. She would test him further. She wanted to understand him, to see if his courage and intelligence could withstand challenges beyond mere experiments. For the first time, Princess Lyra felt a sense of anticipation rather than certainty. The human was unpredictable, and that unpredictability intrigued her. She had met many alien dignitaries, military strategists, and scientists, yet none had made her feel the way this human did. Curious, cautious, and a little unsettled. Tomorrow, she would design a new challenge for Alex. A challenge that would test not just his skills, but his understanding of alien culture, loyalty, and strategy. And she knew deep down that this human might surprise her yet again. The suns dipped below the horizon, and the palace lights reflected off the towers like stars come to Earth. Lyra smiled faintly. The galaxy was vast, filled with many species and civilizations, but perhaps she thought humans held a potential that even the most advanced aliens had not yet realized. And Alex would be the one to show her just how far a human could go. The next morning, Princess Lyra was already at her laboratory reviewing the plans for a new challenge. She had spent the night thinking about Alex, the human male who had disrupted her expectations so effortlessly. His calm confidence, intelligence, and quick thinking had left an impression she could not ignore. Today, she wanted to see if his abilities extended beyond technical skill, to see if he could navigate alien culture and its complex rules. When Alex arrived, Lyra was waiting with a small group of her trusted aides. The challenge she prepared was subtle, designed not to harm but to test his understanding of her world. She greeted him with her usual elegance, hiding a faint smile beneath her serious expression. "Alex," she said, her voice smooth and authoritative. "Today you will face a different kind of test, one that requires more than knowledge. It requires understanding, patience, and adaptability." Alex inclined his head politely. "I am ready, Princess. Please explain the task." Lyra waved her hand toward a large observation hall. Inside, a series of holographic stations displayed simulations of different alien scenarios, diplomatic conflicts, scientific experiments, and leadership challenges. Each station presented a complex problem. Some required quick thinking, others careful negotiation, and a few demanded creativity beyond standard logic. "You will move through these stations," Lyra explained. "Each one tests a different skill. Some are straightforward. Others require you to interpret alien social codes. You must complete each station successfully to finish the challenge." Alex nodded, scanning the holographic simulations. He noticed subtle patterns, cultural nuances, and the potential for unexpected outcomes. Unlike many visitors who relied purely on instinct, Alex analyzed every situation calmly, preparing a strategy before acting. The first station was a negotiation simulation. A group of alien representatives were in conflict over a resource dispute. Alex observed their gestures, tone, and history, information provided by Lyra's aides, and formulated a solution that satisfied both parties without angering anyone. The holographic representatives responded positively, and a soft chime indicated success. Princess Lyra's eyes widened slightly. "Impressive," she murmured. "Most aliens fail this station because they try to dominate rather than understand." Alex gave a modest smile. "Understanding is often more effective than domination." Next came a technical station. A complex energy grid was unstable, similar to the one he had stabilized the previous day. This time, however, the system included unfamiliar alien technology. Alex studied the readings carefully, experimented with small adjustments, and quickly identified the optimal solution. The holographic energy stabilized perfectly, glowing softly as confirmation. Again, Lyra was impressed. She had expected hesitation, even error. Yet Alex handled the unfamiliar with precision and composure. The final station was the most unusual. It tested his understanding of alien social hierarchy and customs. A holographic simulation presented a scenario in which Alex needed to navigate a ceremonial event while maintaining respect for alien traditions, including gestures, phrases, and subtle etiquette. Most outsiders struggled, unintentionally offending the holographic dignitaries and failing the challenge. Alex paused, observing the simulation carefully. He noticed patterns, how authority was conveyed through posture, how honor was expressed in small gestures, and how humor or humility could disarm tension. Using these observations, he moved through the simulation with grace, addressing each dignitary appropriately, and even earning small nods of approval from the holographic audience. Lyra leaned against a console, watching quietly. She realized that Alex had not only succeeded, he had done so while maintaining his own identity, never pretending to be something he was not. His humanity had not been a disadvantage. It had been his strength. When he completed the challenge, the holographic systems shut down, leaving the room in a calm silence. Lyra stepped forward, her expression thoughtful. "You have done well, Alex," she said. "Few outsiders could navigate all three stations without error. You have demonstrated skill, intelligence, and an understanding of our ways that is rare." Alex bowed slightly. "Thank you, Princess. I only try to observe and adapt. That has always worked for me." Lyra studied him for a moment longer. Then a mischievous smile crossed her face. "I have a proposal," she said. "It is not part of the challenge, but I find it intriguing. I think someone like you could be my pet." Alex blinked, momentarily confused. "Your pet, Princess?" "Yes," Lyra said, her voice carrying a hint of amusement. It is a cultural concept among my people. A pet is not a subordinate in the way you might think. It is someone I trust deeply, someone I respect who follows certain rules and customs and in return is given protection, guidance, and certain privileges. Alex's expression shifted from confusion to understanding. He could see that this was not a command, not a way to diminish him. It was an invitation wrapped in alien tradition for a human to become a trusted companion and observer. I see, he said carefully. You mean it as a partnership of trust, not as a position of weakness. Lyra's smile widened. Exactly. Most humans would misunderstand the term and refuse, or react with offense. You, however, have already shown an understanding of our ways, and I am curious how you would handle this role. Alex considered it for a moment. Accepting would mean following certain alien customs, yes, but it would also give him the chance to learn more about Lyra's world, build influence, and deepen the trust he had already begun to earn. He nodded. I accept, Princess. I will honor the role in the way you intend it. The princess raised an eyebrow, genuinely surprised. Most beings would never accept a title that implied submission, even culturally. Alex's choice reflected intelligence, humility, and courage, a combination she had not anticipated. Very well, Lyra said, clearly amused. You are my pet, then. You will observe, assist, and learn, and I will watch how you adapt. Over the next several days, Alex moved through the palace as Lyra's pet, though the title felt symbolic more than literal. He assisted with experiments, offered strategic insights, and observed daily life in the palace. Staff and advisors were initially confused. How could a human, nominally a pet, offer advice and make decisions that influenced the princess herself? But Alex handled each situation with tact, never overstepping yet never being ignored. Lyra found herself watching him more often than she admitted. He carried himself with quiet confidence, never arrogant, never fearful. He spoke only when necessary, yet when he did, his words carried weight. One afternoon, Lyra presented a complex challenge involving an interplanetary trade negotiation. Several alien delegates were unwilling to compromise and tensions were rising. Alex listened carefully, analyzed the situation, and suggested a solution that incorporated human negotiation techniques with alien customs. The delegates accepted his advice, and the crisis was resolved peacefully. Lyra's eyes narrowed, a mixture of surprise and admiration crossing her face. You are exceptional, she said quietly. Most beings would falter at such subtle tasks, yet you managed to succeed without arrogance or offense. Alex smiled faintly. I only try to understand. Respect is earned through action, not rank or fear. Lyra felt a strange flutter in her chest. She had spent years relying on authority, on the unquestioned respect of others. Yet this human, with his calm wisdom and courage, challenged her assumptions. For the first time, she questioned the limits of her own power and wondered what she could learn from him. That evening, Lyra invited Alex to a private dinner in the palace gardens. The twin moons reflected softly in the water, casting silver light across the flowering plants. They spoke of philosophy, science, and leadership, finding common ground despite their differences. You have changed how I see humans, Lyra admitted. I expected arrogance, weakness, or fear. Instead, I find patience, intelligence, and insight that surprises me at every turn. Alex looked at her respectfully. Humans are adaptable, Princess. We may seem small or fragile, but we have the ability to learn and grow quickly. Sometimes we see solutions that others overlook. Lyra nodded slowly, feeling a respect that was deeper than she had anticipated. She realized that her cultural title of pet had taken on a new meaning. It was not about control. It was about partnership, trust, and the surprising potential of an unexpected ally. As the night drew to a close, Lyra looked at Alex and smiled faintly. Tomorrow we begin another challenge. But tonight, rest. You have earned it. Alex bowed slightly, his eyes reflecting the twin moons. Thank you, Princess. I will be ready. Lyra watched him leave, her mind buzzing with possibilities. She had expected a human to be ordinary, limited, and respectful out of fear. Instead, she had found someone extraordinary, someone who could challenge her, teach her, and perhaps even change her view of her entire world. For the first time, Lyra felt anticipation rather than certainty. This human, her pet, was unpredictable, intelligent, and courageous. She wondered what the next challenge would reveal, Not just about him, but about herself, and deep down she admitted it quietly. Even to herself, she was beginning to respect him in ways she had not expected, and she was eager to see just how far his abilities and his understanding of her world could go. The next week brought an unexpected crisis to Princess Lyra's planet. A sudden energy surge from a nearby star threatened the planetary grids. Entire cities faced the risk of blackouts, and the palace itself experienced minor tremors as the unstable power spread through the infrastructure. Lyra's advisors were tense, issuing instructions in rapid sequences, their voices full of worry. Princess Lyra remained calm, though her eyes were sharp with concern. She had dealt with emergencies before, but this one was different. The surge was unpredictable and affected systems in ways no simulation could fully replicate. She realized immediately that she could not handle this alone, not even with her intelligence and authority. She needed someone capable of thinking outside the usual patterns. Alex, her human companion, the one she had humorously, yet meaningfully, titled her pet, stood nearby. He had been monitoring energy readings and adjusting minor systems in preparation for the possibility of trouble. When the alarm sounded, he acted quickly, scanning the energy surge, analyzing patterns, and making calculations that even the most advanced alien computers struggled to keep up with. "Alex," Lyra called, her voice calm but urgent. "I need you to coordinate with the palace engineers. Use any method you have to stabilize the energy grids." "I trust your judgment," Alex nodded. "Understood, Princess. I'll do everything I can." He moved through the palace like a practiced strategist, giving clear instructions, adjusting devices, and implementing fixes that relied not just on alien technology, but on human methods of problem-solving. Some of the palace engineers were skeptical. After all, he was just a human, but they quickly realized his solutions were precise and effective. Hours passed, and the surge continued to spread, more stubborn than anyone had predicted. Lyra observed Alex carefully, noticing how he remained calm under pressure, thinking several steps ahead, anticipating possible failures and responding immediately. Unlike most visitors who would panic or rely solely on authority, he relied on observation, logic, and courage. At one point, a major power hub near the city center threatened to explode. The building's shields were unstable, and evacuation alone would not prevent disaster. Alex quickly assessed the situation. Using a combination of alien engineering techniques and human improvisation, he diverted the energy surge safely, stabilizing the hub just moments before it reached critical failure. Lyra's eyes widened. "Incredible," she whispered. Her usual pride was tinged with awe. Most beings would have faltered, yet he succeeds without fear. When the crisis reached its peak, Alex proposed a bold strategy. Using the planet's natural magnetic fields in combination with the palace's energy grids to redirect excess energy safely into controlled storage chambers. It was risky. If it failed, it could cause catastrophic damage, but the alternative was worse. "Are you certain this will work?" Lyra asked, her voice steady but serious. "I am confident," Alex replied. "If we work together carefully, we can stabilize the entire system." Lyra nodded. She knew he was right. For the first time, she allowed herself to relinquish partial control, trusting this human fully. Together, they coordinated the effort, combining alien technology with human logic and ingenuity. As the energy surged toward the storage chambers, alarms blared, lights flickered, and the palace trembled. But Alex's plan worked. The energy was safely redirected and the grid stabilized. A collective cheer rose from the palace engineers and staff. Lyra allowed herself a small smile, pride and relief mixing in her chest. She looked at Alex, who was calm, almost serene despite the chaos. "You have done more than I imagined," she said quietly. "Not only did you prevent disaster, but you also proved something important. Humans can handle situations that even the most advanced species struggle with." Alex shook his head modestly. "I only did what I could. You gave me the chance, Princess." Lyra felt a strange warmth. She had given him the title of pet as part of a cultural custom, expecting a symbolic role. Instead, he had become an equal in action, a partner in crisis. His courage, intelligence, and calm presence had saved countless lives. After the crisis passed, Lyra called for a private meeting with Alex in her chambers. The room was quiet, the twin moons casting a gentle glow across the polished floor. "You were remarkable today," she said, her voice soft, yet firm. "I must admit, I did not expect a human to handle such a complex crisis with such precision and courage. Most would have failed or been paralyzed by fear." Alex smiled faintly. "I only observed the situation and acted logically. Fear is natural, but action is more important. Sometimes you must trust yourself and the people around you." Lyra studied him carefully. She realized that the title of pet had taken on a new meaning. It was no longer a playful cultural joke. It was a bond of trust, mutual respect, and partnership. She had given him a title to test him, but he had exceeded all expectations. "I believe the term pet does not fully describe your role anymore," Lyra said, almost laughing. "You are no subordinate. You are my ally, my advisor, and in many ways my equal." Alex inclined his head respectfully. "I am honored, Princess. I value your trust and guidance as well. That is more meaningful than any title." Lyra smiled, feeling a rare sense of humility. She had spent her life relying on authority, control, and the unquestioned obedience of others. Yet this human had shown her that strength could come from courage, intelligence, and mutual respect rather than fear or power. In the following days, their partnership deepened. Alex continued to assist with palace affairs, offering insights that combined human perspective with alien technology. Lyra learned to see problems in new ways, blending her experience with his innovative thinking. They discovered solutions to long-standing issues that had stymied the palace for years. During private discussions in the palace gardens, they spoke of philosophy, leadership, and life beyond their worlds. Alex's observations often challenged Lyra's assumptions, encouraging her to see things from fresh perspectives. She in turn shared the intricacies of alien culture, diplomacy, and governance. One evening, as they walked along the reflective canals of the palace gardens, Lyra spoke softly. "I have spent years relying on tradition and authority, but you have shown me something different. Courage, intelligence, respect. These are the things that truly matter." Alex nodded, looking at the shimmering water. "That is true for all species, Princess. Power without understanding can only take you so far. True strength comes from insight and action, combined with trust." Lyra's expression softened. For the first time, she felt a sense of partnership she had never experienced. She had expected a human to be clever, perhaps brave, but she had not expected him to become someone she could rely on completely. The palace staff began to notice the shift. The so-called pet was no longer a mere observer or symbolic figure. Alex had earned genuine respect through his actions, advice, and unwavering composure. Even the most skeptical advisors admitted his contributions were invaluable. During a ceremonial gathering to honor the successful handling of the energy crisis, Lyra spoke before her people. "Today we witnessed courage and intelligence from unexpected sources," she said. "We have learned that respect is not given solely by rank or title, but earned through action, wisdom, and understanding. One among us, an outsider, a human, has shown that even the smallest of us can achieve greatness when guided by trust and honor." The assembly erupted in applause. Alex, standing quietly beside Lyra, felt a mixture of humility and pride. He had come to an alien world as a visitor and emerged as a trusted partner in leadership, a symbol of humanity's potential. Later, as the celebration ended, Lyra walked with Alex back to the palace gardens. The night was calm and the twin moons reflected softly in the still water. "You have done more than I ever imagined," she said quietly. "You have proven the value of humanity in ways I could not have anticipated. I underestimated your species. And myself," Alex smiled gently. "I only did what I could. You gave me a chance, Princess. That is what made the difference," Lyra laughed softly. "Perhaps the title of pet was not entirely inaccurate after all," she said teasingly. "You are my companion, my ally, and yes, in some ways my pet, but only because you have earned my trust in ways no one else could." Alex bowed slightly, his eyes reflecting warmth and respect. "Then I shall honor it, Princess, as it was intended, with loyalty, care, and understanding." As they stood together, the palace towers glimmered under the moon's light, the city below quiet and safe. Lyra felt a rare sense of satisfaction, an understanding that strength was not measured by authority alone, but by courage, intelligence, and the trust that binds allies together. For Princess Lyra, the human who had arrived unexpectedly, who had accepted the role of her pet, and who had proven himself in every way, was no longer just a visitor. He was a reminder of the potential that humanity carried, a partner who could stand beside her, and a trusted friend who had changed the way she saw the universe. And Alex, he knew that in earning her trust, he had done more than prove his skill. He had shown that humanity, though often underestimated, could rise to challenges anywhere in the galaxy and earn respect not through fear, but through courage, intelligence, and heart. The twin moons reflected on their faces, quiet witnesses to the bond forged through challenge, trust, and shared triumph.